Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. This is Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV from Toronto, Ontario. I'm Catherine Bullock. Today a conversation with Farah Slimati, who is the Vice Principal of Great Lakes Public School, about how her school is celebrating Islamic History Month. But first, some news headlines. Conservative council member suspended following a motion to remove O'Toole. Alberta's Top Doctor apologises for mistaking the cause of a death of a 14-year-old. First Nation community in PEI given 11 hectares to develop a tourism centre. Biden to garner support for transformative childcare policies. Explosions in Shia Mosque in Afghanistan kill 41 people during Friday prayers. And now the details. Bert Chen from the Conservative Party of Canada has been placed on a 60-day suspension. Conservative Party President Rob Batherson says that this followed complaints of misconduct. This comes after Chen led a petition to conduct an early review of Erin O'Toole's leadership. His online petition was posted less than 24 hours after the loss of the Conservatives in the September 20th election. Chen collected signatures to hold a vote and decide O'Toole's fate earlier than the current 2023 date. Chen regards the suspension as a way to silence Conservative members that have lost confidence in the leadership of Erin O'Toole. Albertan Top Doctor Dina Hinshaw apologised following an error in her report of COVID casualties. On Tuesday, Hinshaw took to Twitter to announce the death toll for the weekend, including that of a 14-year-old boy. This 14-year-old was the youngest child to die of COVID in Alberta. The sister of the deceased, Simone Spitzer, revealed on Facebook that her brother had not died from COVID. Rather, he passed away with stage 4 brain cancer. Hinshaw later acknowledged that COVID was a secondary condition in the child's death. Users on social media criticized Hinshaw for dehumanizing the child. This was by emphasizing his COVID diagnosis over the one of brain cancer. Hinshaw has now announced the provincial plan for the death of minors. The government will conduct a review before releasing information to the public. The Crown has signed an agreement to hand over 11 hectares, or 27 acres, of land to the Lennox Island First Nation. The land will be used to build a tourism centre. Something has been missing from the PEI travel industry for a long time. Chief Darlene Bernard of the Lennox Island First Nation plans to design the modern centre to use renewable energy such as solar power. Bernard stated that the action was a show of good faith working with the First Nation and returning land back to the Mi'kmaq people. United States President Joe Biden is traveling to Connecticut as part of his national tour. The tour is aimed to gather support for his childcare proposals in office. Childcare is being held up as critical to the economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. But the administration argues that the United States invests far less in childcare than comparable economies. The cost of childcare for the average family in Connecticut is $16,000, according to Hartford's Democratic Mayor Luke Bronin. Biden is proposing to bridge the gap with federal subsidies for low and middle-income Americans. A Shia mosque in the southern city of Kandahar has killed 41 people and wounded 70 others. The motive behind the explosion during Friday Jummah prayers is not clear at the moment. The explosion follows a week after an attack on a Shia mosque in northern Kunduz. The Islamic State Khorasan has claimed responsibility for the attack in Kunduz last week. Witnesses recalled 3 explosions. One eyewitness in particular says that explosions were spaced out around the mosque. One was by the main entrance, one in the back, and the final in the wudu area. Shias form a minority in the Afghan population at around 10%. Following the attack in Kunduz last week, the Taliban government has promised to protect Shias living in Afghanistan. That's it for the news. And now our conversation with Farah Slimati, Vice Principal of Great Lakes Public School, about how they're celebrating Islamic History Month. Welcome to the show, Sister Farah Slimati, who is the Vice Principal of Great Lakes Public School in Brampton, Ontario. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Now, we know we're catching you just at the end of lunch. We can hear the happy noises of kids coming in from their break. We know that it's also Islamic History Month. Tell us how you're celebrating Islamic History Month in your school.
Well, Islamic Heritage Month is one of the events that we do celebrate here at Great Lakes. It is mandated by the ministry and the school board for these heritage months to be celebrated. As it can be celebrated in different ways in depending on the locations, we do have activities that are offered to us by the board. And one of these activities that my school have signed up for is attending guest speakers. Last year, we had a guest speaker, Bilkis Abdul Kadir, who is a former basketball player who shared her story of standing up to oppression when she lived in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Her speech had such a powerful impact on our students in my building. They really looked up to her being the first Muslim woman in a headscarf to play NCAA division basketball. This year, we had Jamila Tompkins, the author of the book My Name is a Song, and many other picture books that are really about affirming students' identities. Well,
So you're bringing in guests from the outside to talk to the kids. Is it an elementary school or is it a high school?
This is an elementary school, and these guest speakers, they do different presentations depending on the group age or age group. Um, they talk to different audiences, but the main theme is that to really be role models for our youth when it comes to affirming their identities as Muslims and standing up for their rights.
So do you have a lot of Muslim children in the school?
Great Lakes Public School is located beside a mosque. So the community here in the neighborhood is mainly Muslim. The data from our census reveals that more than 31% of my school population identifies as Muslim.
So I called it Islamic History Month because that's the name of the federal holiday, and you're calling it the Islamic Heritage Month, which is what it's called in Ontario. And I'm clarifying that just in case the viewers are confused why I'm saying Islamic History Month and you're calling it Islamic Heritage Month. But essentially, the way I understand it, it's the exact same thing.
Exactly. The whole idea is to recognize and acknowledge the Islamic tradition, and also to shed light on Muslim excellence and the positive contributions they have been making to Canada.
So you mentioned that the ministry has mandated the board that the schools recognize heritage months. Are there other heritage months throughout the year that you also recognize?
Yes, we do have, this year, we started Hispanic Heritage Month that is being celebrated at the same time as the Islamic Heritage Month. And I think this doesn't happen randomly. I don't know, in terms of historical point of view, there's a lot of in common between Hispanic heritage and Islamic heritage. If we go back into history and talk about Andalusia and Cordoba, so it has been amazing the way we have celebrated Islamic Heritage Month in alignment with Hispanic Heritage Month. Next month, I don't have all the months on top of my head, but we do have Sikh Heritage Month, Hindu Heritage Month, Jewish Heritage Month. So every month there is a specific heritage that we do acknowledge, and we try to stay away from the word celebrate, because the whole idea is really to recognize and really highlight the excellence that these communities have contributed to Canadian society.
I was going to ask you if there's been any pushback from the community about Islamic Heritage Month. How are people reacting?
Well, of course, any equity work brings with it some form of resistance. Resisting resistance takes a lot of courage, honesty, and transparency. When the purpose why we are doing this work is clear amongst all stakeholders, its implementation becomes a little bit easier. We have to keep in mind that the students we are teaching today are going to be the citizens of tomorrow. So the question I always ask folks when they try to resist or even show opposition or even show curiosity, I always say, what type of citizens would you like to have for our future society? For sure, the answer is to have citizens who are happy and trauma free. So the injustices committed in the past cannot be reproduced, or we can say that we haven't learned anything from history. So accepting each other for who we are is essential to living in peace and harmony. And this can only happen if we have a good understanding of who we are and deep respect for each other.
And
So
is that the main argument you make when you're trying to speak to the people who might be resisting each time?
yeah, well, depending on how the conversation goes, but honestly, like that statement that I make makes
Mm.
it easier for me to engage in this conversation because I don't look at the event in itself, but I really look at and try to really explain the why behind it. We need to look at the big picture. We're not
Mm.
celebrating the events for the sake of celebrating the events, but it's really for affirming the different identities of our students and also to build their sense of belonging and citizenry. I know that to have a strong country, we need to have strong citizens, and our youth without that deep sense of belonging, then I can't see how they are going to be like those strong citizens that we want to develop for the future.
So what I think I'm hearing you say is it has like a double pronged aspect. One, to affirm the identity of the student and make them feel a sense of pride and belonging in their heritage, but also educating others from a different heritage.
Definitely. Like, as much as we as Muslims, we want other people to learn about our heritage, it is also important for us to learn about the heritage of the other communities. That's how we can really guarantee having that mutual respect and deep understanding of each other.
And how are the kids then reacting in the school?
Since this work around student identity has started, our students have been showing a lot of interest in participating in these Heritage Months. I do have students who email me like songs they would like to listen on the PA system in the morning. I do have students who make presentations about their culture, either it's Hispanic or Islamic, and they would like to share that on our virtual morning announcements. I even have staff members who are really advocating for their students and have them to participate more in these events. So the outcome of these heritage months has been amazing, especially for our Muslim students who there was a time when I was really worried about our students being afraid of identifying as Muslims because of the
Mhm.
rise of Islamophobia. But I think with the Islamic Heritage Month, they have the opportunity to really shine for who they are.
And what do you remember what song was played this morning?
Of course, I think we played Ya Khuda Ya Khuda by Maher Zain. So, and it was from the playlist that some of our students have put together.
That makes me wonder if there has to be a pre-approval process. How does that work?
Well, we do have guidelines from the board how we need to be acknowledging these heritage months. Like we try as much as possible, like not to as again, the purpose is really to affirm students' identities. So we are not doing any preaching. That's a no-no. So and we don't preach. We are in a public system. We do embrace different cultures and different heritages, and again, we always go back to the purpose, the why, and the why is really to develop understanding of each other so that we can live in harmony and peace.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show and giving us a tiny glimpse into what's been going on in your school. We hope that you and your students continue to enjoy Islamic Heritage Month and all the Heritage Months. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. Wa alaikum assalam.
That was Sister Farah Slimati, Vice Principal of Great Lakes Public School in Brampton, Ontario. That's it for us today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Stay safe and God bless.